Take 18. Hey guys, this is Code from the SpeakInCOAD podcast. I am sitting here with Chente the homie, yo, and Theodore Dynamite, blur, and we will bring to you guys part 3 of the 3-part series as we talk about the train derailment, the Chinese balloons. We're also going to start talking about how other countries are buying a property in the United States, how the pipeline over in Russia was blown up to force Germany's hand, the Ukrainian laundromat, and the possible start of World War III. We get into a bunch of other stuff, and we go into Theodore Dynamite's wrestling rant, and we talk a little bit about his OnlyFans and how we're going to start promoting that instead of a Patreon. All right, guys, hope you enjoy the show. So I wanted to talk to you about the possible start. So let's just big picture, right? This stuff's all happening. They're saying China's doing this. They're coming over here and trying to steal our information or steal like our.
They took our gas.
Yeah, they're trying to take our drug. So, so they're having people come here that are citizens and buying property,
Yes.
and then having China actually build on that property.
Red Dragon.
In the United States, the Red Dragon's a crazy symbolism thing, by the way. I'll mention that in another episode. But you mentioned Red Dragon.
They're doing to us what we've done to countries.
Yes, but here's what happened too. It just came out. Here's why they did this. I'll tell you exactly why they did this, and I'm just catching it right now that I'm saying it. They did the train derailment because things were coming out that Biden was the one that destroyed the pipeline in Russia. He sent Navy SEALs over there and blew up their pipeline, which was getting their fuel.
And they didn't have fuel to power their vehicles.
Yes.
In the fight against Ukraine.
Well, no, they were selling fuel to countries in Europe. Germany was buying their fuel. Germany's a part of NATO.
Okay.
So what they did was they go, hey, we're going to blow this up. It forces Germany's hand on saying, hey, we can't side with Russia because they're not providing our fuel anymore. We have to side with the rest of NATO and the United States.
Because that's where they can get their fuel and stuff they need.
Yes.
Okay.
And then what happens is now Germany is getting stronghold, or like not manhandled, but like told like, hey, now that you're not getting fuel from Russia, you have to get fuel from us. We're going to provide the fuel.
And then if you want that fuel for a discounted rate, you'll do blah, 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 blah.
So if you think about it, if World War III happens because of say, let's just say Russia comes at us, right?
Yes.
If Russia goes, we're coming to bomb you, the United States will be like, I don't know why they're bombing us. But we know now that Biden was the one, and the United States were the ones that actually bombed and blew up their pipeline, which was their way of fuel and oil. So it was almost as if we did the first attack on Russia.
Gotcha.
And people might say, well, what about Ukraine? They're bombing Ukraine and they're messing with Ukraine. Ukraine's been handling themselves pretty well, I guess, because of all the laundered money that we've laundered to them. We kept saying like, hey, why don't we send them a bunch of guns and weapons and stuff and help them? And they go, nah, we'll just send them a couple more $1 billion. And then the president of Ukraine was saying, well, don't send us weapons, but we'll take an extra $1 billion each month. He asked for a raise, pretty much like I think he's gotten over $30 billion from our taxpayer dollars. Which that could have paid all the people that had to deal with the derailments. That could have put them somewhere else. I mean, it sucks that it has to move them away from where they're from and what they know. But I actually think that this was the look over here because things about the pipeline was
over here.
Out.
Okay, makes sense. I could see.
And I think it's going to be the start of World War III. And I think the 3 teams that are going to team up together are going to be China, Russia, and India. India
Why
is
India?
China. India is the new China.
Okay.
People think that, like, oh, China has all these things and blah, 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 blah. India has so much stuff. They have so much outsourced stuff. They have so many scientists now.
So what were the three you named again?
China, Russia, and India.
Okay.
Those are my 3 picks for World War III. Who's going to go against the United States? And
all I say is we team with Australia, and we got it.
And probably like Iran and something else. Yeah. Aaron.
I was just Iran.
Iran.
All we need is Australia on our side, and we can destroy anybody.
They're not even allowed to leave their house. They're all quarantined. They've been quarantined, and they have no weapons.
We don't need their weapons. We just need their wildlife.
Their wildlife?
Their wildlife.
Oh.
We're going to send platypuses and dog-sized spiders.
Yeah.
And a couple kangaroos.
And snails that are poisonous. Poison penis snails.
They go open the crate of grenades, and he picks up a poisonous snail. And
and he goes, yeah. That's how he sounds.
Yeah. But
it's like Mork and Mindy.
What he does, he knocks over the crate of grenades, which chain reaction, explosion.
Oh, man.
One snail took out a whole base.
Yep.
All we need is Australia's wildlife. We can win any war.
Starts a whole new sort of AIDS.
It's a whole new AIDS.
It's like monkeypox, snowpox.
Can Magic Johnson beat them?
Oh.
You know what? I'm going to shut up. I shouldn't have said that.
I would say yes. He's paid opposition. The government paid him to take HIV and say that he had it, but he never had it. Never mind. Sorry. I'll delete all this. But
why?
I don't know. So, Chente, we talked a little bit about the million, the billion, the trillion seconds. We talked about train derailments. We talked about hamsters without wheels, Chinese animal balloons flying over the country looking like craziness, chemicals from trains, possible start of World War III. I think we talked a little bit about some symbolism.
We touched on some symbolism.
And I think you were going to tell me a little bit about Stanley Kubrick, what movie to watch.
Oh, yeah. But one thing I do want to say, with all this stuff going around,
yeah,
and how you said this balloon and people getting cancer now is going to be a cover-up for vaccines.
Yes.
I feel like there's going to be some kind of cancer, and someone's going to find a cure for it, and that's going to be the next moneymaker.
And I bet it's ivermectin.
Something, yo.
Because if you get your phone right now and you go to the NIH website and you put in ivermectin cancer, tons and tons and tons of links come back that says that ivermectin was a cure for cancer.
Well, it's also funny you guys mentioned that because I was listening to a thing.
Sorry, this might be a banned episode. We might have to release this on Rockfin or Patreon or OnlyFans. You do it. We'll do it on Teddy Bear Dynamites OnlyFans where he does skinny boy stuff.
Yeah. Big men doing little boy things. Wait, I don't like where that's at.
He takes off an article of clothing.
Yes, for every subscription. It's like a peeling stick.
It's like the woman from Major League. He just has like a bunch of stuff on. He's got like 6 shirts on and a wife beater. And then he's got a halter top on.
Nice. Purple halter top.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was listening to this thing.
Mabel.
Big Daddy V.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not going to be Mabel. Big Daddy V. I like that. I get to wear the sweatsuit and come out to the sleeves and music. Kiss Lillian Garcia. Okay, I'm done. The thing I was listening to was talking about how like there was a law placed where they were like capping certain medicines so they couldn't overcharge for them, and a lot of the prices are coming down. And then there was a couple companies that put their own cap that brought them down even further. So like a lot of like insulin for diabetes, there's going to be like where the cap on it from the government, and then the company itself will make the like the high name brand like 80, but then the generic brand like 35, where it's more affordable for people.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that, and I was like, well, I don't remember hearing anything about them capping it until I listened to that show today. And you guys bringing that up is like, I wonder if this is like their preemptive strike. Okay, we're gonna lower people's guard, get medicine cheap, and then like Chente said, you know, now they're gonna find the cure for these cancers that are gonna start popping up from these chemical spills.
What show did you listen to?
It was a radio show. I can't remember, and they were talking about
different pharmaceutical type stuff.
yes,
And who knows? That might be the way that big pharma was like, hey, we messed up. We'll make everything else cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're like, oh well. They're like, all my other family members died because of they couldn't afford stuff.
Yeah.
You know, EpiPens being what, $700 for one.
Exactly. And those
Gotta
prices,
get that good RX.
Yeah. Doesn't work. Trust me, I tried.
Oh shit.
It sucks. They only have like limited stuff, and then I think there's another one that Mark Cuban did. It was supposed to be cheaper. That might have been.
They just give you Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah.
There you go.
They give you a hug and a Band-Aid. You're like, I don't even need a Band-Aid.
I could have hugged myself.
Yeah. They're like, but it's SpongeBob. I'm like, all right, thanks.
But I remember them saying some of the stuff is going in effect now, but a lot of it we won't see in effect until the fourth quarter of the year, toward the end of the year.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, we might start seeing the results of
World War III.
Exactly.
So
who cares if medicine is cheap if I got to worry about bombing and there was one point where there was talk about this was years ago, reinstating the draft, wasn't there at one point?
Maybe, but who will they draft now?
All the sick people.
Yeah. I mean, like
chemical warfare, just using soldiers.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Nothing. Oh. It's kind of risky, I think.
Did you say something about a bald guy with a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what I do in my closed doors is none of your business.
It's man. Jeez, dude, chill out.
It's just me and Moppy.
Yeah. Oh boy.
You remember Perry Saturn?
Perry Saturn. I was like Sarah Saturn.
Everybody wants.
Yeah. So, you were telling me a little bit about Stanley Kubrick.
Okay, Stanley Kubrick. You gotta study the guy. You gotta watch his movies. If you're into symbolism or just good movies, watch it. And I think we should all watch 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Cool.
But A Clockwork Orange is also good.
Do you have any of these?
I do not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy. You said it. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna mention the site.
Yeah, that was just
you
knew what I was
site
talking about.
is.
Yeah,
No,
you can't watch it on Pornhub.
I bet you. You know what?
It wasn't Clockwork Orange. It was Clockwork Orange.
This is the wrong one, guys.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna edit this and put this on the black hole. Yeah.
The fact that you said that and they talk about putting it on the black hole just makes it all
even more. Put it on, just the tip.
I don't want to put it in. I just want to put it on.
So then,
Space Odyssey and stuff too.
2001: Space Odyssey. Gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Danny Darko. Danny Darko. I don't know what's called.
Yeah, Danny Darko sounds right.
You gotta watch that one too.
Okay.
I don't think that's Stanley Kubrick, but
yeah, just a ton of symbolism and stuff in it.
Have either one of you got to see Knock at the Cabin yet? I know this is completely unrelated.
Is it scary?
It's suspenseful, but not scary. Okay. It's the new one with Batista.
Oh no!
Knock at the Cabin. It's an apocalyptic type movie. I don't remember if it's M. Night Shyamalan, Stephen King, one of those.
Ding dong.
It's one of those two, or maybe even another guy that's known for doing movies like that. I thought it was good. I don't know what other people thought. I won't give any spoilers away, but it was very good.
And it pertains to
none of this. But Tim talked about Clockwork Orange, and because it was a movie and it's a good thing to watch, the apocalyptic nature and the biblical reference in it, just I don't know, it seemed like a good thing to watch.
Symbolism.
A little bit, yeah. I don't think, personally, I didn't see any symbolism.
We'll point
but
it out.
I never look for symbolism.
So, and I think that's what we should do, Chente, for the next one. We got episode 6, 7. This is 7. We'll get 8 and 9 out there too, and then probably a Black Holes episode. But I'm thinking about for the we'll do like a watch party type episode, and I think what we could do, we could even come up to you or something and just watch it all in the same room. But we could take our time watching the movie, and then as soon as we notice a few things, we could pause it, start the recording, mention what we just saw and experience, like parts of it, and then say like, hey, we just paused it at this time. We're going to talk about a little bit of the symbolism we saw. We saw this, and this. You could break some stuff down. I could break some stuff down, and like kind of explain it to TBD. and then we could pause the recording, start the movie again, watch the movie again until we get to a certain point and go, all right, we're gonna stop here, pause the movie, and be like, all right, we're at minute like I don't know, 30 minutes and like 15 seconds or something.
Yeah.
And start the recording again, and then tell the recording where we're at, and just talk about what we just saw and what we kind of like experienced seeing, and like more of the symbolism. So that way the episode could almost be like a watch along. Like they don't have to listen. They don't have to watch the movie. They could just listen to us, or they could watch the movie and pause, and or they could listen to this entire podcast and then like watch it until it gets to the next spot, you know?
Okay.
So that way they're like, oh, like, we could pause the movie and go, hey, we just paused it at like 35 minutes. So then they could pause it and then go to 35 minutes of the movie, pause it there, and then start where we start it.
Yeah.
That way they can hear what we're talking about and stuff too.
Makes sense.
So, I don't know. It might take
Have
a long
you seen
time.
The Truman Show?
Years ago.
The movie?
With Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Who was on it.
I still don't believe that.
But why not?
I'd rather believe Tom Hanks is there than Jim Carrey.
Tom was too.
Yeah, I
Oprah.
could, if I had to choose between Tom Carrey and Jim Carrey being a
Tom
Hanks,
and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry, Tom Hanks and Jim Carrey. If I had to believe one of them was there, I'd more likely believe Hanks than Jim Carrey.
Here's my thinking of it. They put themselves out there to be famous. A lot of these people that go out to Hollywood to become famous, there's so many people that go out there and don't make it. Some of these people will sell their soul for anything. They'll go, I'll do anything to get famous. I'll do anything to become the best. I'll do anything. And they sell their soul, you know, and when they do that, they're no longer connected to us. You know, like, not that they're connected to us anyway, but I feel like the only people that get pushed so high done things. And like when you start to see like the list,
allegedly,
yeah, if you start to see the list, you're gonna be shocked. Like it's gonna be shocking to know some of the people that you like almost cared about a movie, that did horrific things. And here's the thing too, and here's what I'll tell you with the Epstein Island thing. He was brought in to blackmail people. Blackmail people of notoriety, of power, money, you know, that kind of stuff, and influence. So when people went to hang out with him, he's been known since like the early 2000s to be a pedophile and to like have sex with like a young girl or something like that. And he was gonna go to jail for it, and they put him on house arrest in a penthouse in New York. And all of a sudden, they found him in his house in Miami. He wasn't arrested anymore. He wasn't on house arrest anymore. Like they just let him do his own thing. Like there's probably, I would almost guarantee that there's presidents that are on that list. Okay. And what happens is other countries hired Epstein or influenced Epstein enough to say, like, we want you to work for us. We want you to blackmail these higher up people, so that way we can get in through their bureaucracy.
Gotcha.
And create these bills and create these laws and create these policies to benefit our wants and needs. You know, like if they put in, say for example, the railroad thing, for example, if they said we want, like, you could bet on, I can't remember what it's called, but you could bet on like a country's stock and infrastructure and economy to crash. You could bet on it to fail.
Yeah.
And George Soros is one of those people where he's crashed the economy by betting on it, but not by betting on it, but by causing it. So, for example, if you had riots, you know, and all the TV showing these riots, he had things put there in place and bust people there from other places and paid them to destroy those places. You know, and then you have like people getting bust up from South America and Central America. They said the only way that they would have got there is if they would have walked 40 miles a day for 40 days
to get to them.
Yeah, and then they got to the border, and you're like, these people are like wearing like nice clothes. Like some of these look like actors or something. Like their clothes are clean for walking 40 miles a day for 40 days. They don't look like they walked anywhere. There's people in flip flops that have like nothing wrong with them or whatever, and come to find out they got bused to the border to flood the border to get the border in our political view. And then they said we have all these issues at the border, but it was caused by somebody paying all these people to ship up there. So there's people that do things like that, get ahead and make money, and make economies fail. There's other things too where you have these political people where, like, say you had somebody come to your house and you go, dude, we're having a party, we got all these chicks here, come through, like, we got all these hot chicks here, and then they go, yeah, man, the chick wants to bang you or whatever. You go and bang this chick in the other room, and then
my goodness,
they tell you, they go, hey man, we have you recorded, you slept with an underage girl. And you go, what? And they go, look, we'll show you the video. You're on our flight logs. You were here. You banged an underage girl. We want you to do this for us, or we're going to release this information. And, like, you're going to, now all of a sudden you're considered a pedophile. It's like one of the worst labels you could be called.
Yeah.
And I think the FBI and I think the CIA do that to people as well, where they say, hey, we want you to do this and we want you to, like, agree with us. And if people deny it or they don't help them, they go, hey, they just arrested this guy. He had a bunch of porn and stuff on his computer. And the dude's like, it's not my computer. It's not my stuff. They go, well, they did a raid and they found it in his house. It's like, I think that they could plant things, and like.
Well, that goes along with what I said with about, like, how many people are on the list that aren't really.
That got, like, manipulated?
Well, in the case you were talking about manipulated, but then other people they added to the list, like, maybe they couldn't manipulate them. But, like you said, because you're on that list,
yes, and yeah,
you automatically get the connotation
of being a pedo or something, or a pedophile.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Condensation.
Condensation.
No, that's the water running down the
bottom.
Connotation. Yeah.
That you're a pedophile. That you touch kids or you're a rapist.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, now how many of these names on that list are people like that they just threw on there because they've been trying to get for years?
Well, there's also people on that list that are on multiple times, that have flown multiple times. Mm-hmm. Kevin Spacey was down there. Kevin Spacey ended up getting in trouble for molesting like a 17-year-old kid or something like that, or a 14-year-old kid. Yeah, and they brought both of them to the court and trial, and the day or a couple days before they were going to testify against them, one was hit by a car and died, and then the other one had some sort of accident and died too. So it's like the loose ends. Yep. Died. Yep. They're all done. So I mean, like, there's certain things like that too, where they're like, hey, like, we told you, like, we got your back, and I'm sure there was people that wanted to hang out with him because they could get away with stuff like that. Yeah. They're like, hey man, like, I think like a specific president wore a blue dress, or that came across the blue dress. Yes.
He didn't leave in the Palestine thing.
Yeah, really. He was there multiple times. Bill Gates was there multiple times, allegedly. He was friends with the guy. So it's like, there's things that, like, people don't want to believe, and I'm like, I don't know. It's weird to me. So, like, I even think, like, Michael Jackson, like, I think they put that label on him because he was fighting against it. Yeah. He was fighting against, like, I feel like he loved kids. I don't think that he loved them that way, but they spun it that way. And they tarnished his name because. With Jim
Carrey, like, he could be one of the few, but they say, I'm going to tell all the secrets.
But he hasn't.
Well, but if you listen to interviews, like, they won't let him tell the secrets. But because he keeps attempting to, the perfect way to shut him down? Put him on the list.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying I don't believe a majority of the people on the list didn't do what they said.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
I want the list to come out and be like, I want people to be held accountable.
I'm just saying there was a Chinese balloon flying over the U.S. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. And it was collecting evidence for the people they wanted to put on the list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you said 2001 Space Odyssey. You
yes, sir.
Also go to odyssey.com and find our videos there too. But what I did was I used the thumbnail for the AI generator. I used the AI generator to come up with the picture based off of like what we talk about in the episode, and I put those pictures as the thumbnail for each video. So I forgot to do it for YouTube, but I'll try to do that next time.
The majestic chicken you showed me earlier. Did
Yes.
you show that to chicken?
I think so. Did you see the majestic drag chicken video?
From back from that episode?
No. The one I just sent it to you on Instagram. It's okay. I send you so many videos, and you send me. So many,
yeah. It was like a phoenix, right?
No, wait. The white one that jumped off the side of the building. That one.
Oh,
is that what you're talking about?
There was like
orange and blue.
He looked like he had a bunch of joints rolled up on his neck.
Yeah.
That thing. Wasn't that crazy looking?
Yeah.
That's our majestic
it was like chicken. A pheasant. Yeah, it looked just like a domestic drag chicken.
Domestic drag.
Or I mean,
majestic.
We don't get foreign drag chicken. We want local.
We want American.
American.
Yeah. Budweiser.
Ooh.
Well, I couldn't think of another domestic beer. I was about to say Dos Equis, but that's not real.
All beers are red apple really.
Like root beer. Yeah.
Okay. That's like ambrosia. That's nectar of the gods.
All right. Well, I will try to edit this one. Man, this was a long episode too. Like, we're probably gonna get like a couple months. Dude, I'm glad we did these over. This.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
You okay?
Yeah, what?
Did we just get you
doing
like
something? It was like a bunch of like clicking and crackling.
It was like.
Oh yeah, I was messing with the mic. I was trying to. Yeah.
I heard something else. I was like, oh boy.
You heard squishy noises.
I thought you were using your vagilda.
Right here, right now.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I got the comment for after you're done.
Okay.
It'll spiral out of it.
Yeah, no worries. All right, well, hey guys, you listened to episode 7, probably part 1, 2, and maybe 3, which is insane. So, really happy with how these ones went. We stayed on topic for sure.
Compared to the last ones?
Especially since we did it twice. But thank you guys for listening. This is the SpeakInC.O.A.D podcast. I am here with Chente the homie.
Goose, I'm leaving.
And Theodore, Teddy, Bear, Dynamite.
Theodore, Minte. Have a good Minte.
I'm Code. So thank you guys for listening. And we will be back shortly. We'll get you some more episodes sooner than later, hopefully. All right. Bye.
Thought for the day. In life, you realize there is a purpose for every person you meet. Some will teach you, and some will bring out the best in you.